US capitalism is being put to a test with it producing different kinds of wealthy people from multimillionaires to multi-billionaires. But right now, we have a trillionaire. That's another ball game entirely. There are not many economies in the world that are worth a trillion, but an individual is worth a trillion. Is that going to test the strength of American capitalism? And not only American capitalism, just Western and global capitalism, as we tend to see it. We'll be expecting another trillionaire somewhere across the world. Let's look at that as Elon Musk rise towards $1 trillion fortune has become a major debate about the strengths and contradictions of American capitalism. His wealth is not primarily held as cash. It is tied to ownership stakes in companies such as Tesla, SpaceX, and also other technology ventures. That's why Musk wealth is historically significant, because $1 trillion personal fortune could represent a scale of wealth rarely seen in modern history. Supporters argue that such fortunes can emerge from innovation and risk-taking. Most companies have disrupted industries, including electric vehicles, commercial space flight, satellite internet, and also artificial intelligence. And capital markets are rewarding that growth of innovation and disruption that he brought into the global capital space. Investors have valued companies with the potential to reshape entire industries. We saw that with when electricity came into the scene, it changed everywhere. How internet came into the scene, it changed everywhere in terms of capitalism. How railroads came and changed, and aeroplanes came and changed everything. So investors tend to reward those that disrupt or change the way we look at our world in terms of business and commerce. This is now the possibility of extraordinary rewards is viewed by supporters as a driver of technological progress. The capitalism debate is still remaining. Musk wealth raises questions about how value is distributed in the United States economy, not only the United States economy, it's just as an example for global capitalism, but the United States is in the forefront of it. And one of them is wealth concentration. Critics argue that extreme fortunes highlight growing inequality, where ownership of productive assets is concentrated among a small number of individuals, while wage growth for many workers has been slower. Innovation versus inequality as a central question is whether massive fortunes are a natural outcome of creating enormous economic value, or whether they reflect a weakness in the taxation label by gaining power and market structures. And the final one is also corporate power, which is with a fortune approaching the scale of a small nation's economy, or not even a small nation economy, a major nation's economy in Africa. And an individual can influence technology development, space policy, energy markets, artificial intelligence, competition, public debate, and politics. So what a lot of people within the public space are scared of is that you're making an individual more powerful than many nations. Let's take a listen to this.
Than a 10% chance of succeeding at all, to be clear. In fact, I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but, we should give it a try.
SpaceX made history last month with the biggest ever IPO, raising $75 billion on a market value of nearly $2 trillion. More than double that of Saudi Aramco's $29 billion listing in 2019.
Encouraging more of that type of innovation in the American economy rather than less of it seems important, but also trying to make sure that we are fiscally responsible and disciplined.
SpaceX is now one of the most valuable public companies in the world, putting its founder and CEO into a category all his own, the world's first trillionaire. As Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman points out, public markets are turning ownership stakes into staggering concentrations of wealth.
Until recently, we've been talking about income. And we mostly talk about the top 20% or even the top 1%. But wealth is a whole different story, and wealth is really where the action is. So it's wealth, top 1%, it totally dominates wealth, but it's the inequality within the top 1%. It's the top 10th of percent or the top 0.001 or whatever that is, just a handful of people. Elon Musk obviously is the best known, but really, if you look at the top 10 people in the United States, there's an incredible amount of wealth there, and that is relatively new. Even in the year 2000, we were already talking about the 1%, but this 10 billionaires, 10 mega billionaires, that's a new story.
And at this scale, the numbers start to outrun the language we use to describe them.
these numbers like billions, hundreds of billions, trillions, you start to not even be able to realize or understand like what the magnitudes really mean or demand of the American economy.
To fully comprehend how much $1 trillion is, Yale law professor and co-founder of the Budget Lab, Natasha Sarin, offers a different way to measure it.
1 million seconds is about 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds is about 32 years. 1 trillion seconds is 31,700 years. That is roughly back to when humans first began painting cave walls. And so $1 trillion is just such an astounding and significant sum that it is almost hard to grasp what it means.
With $1 trillion, Elon Musk could buy every car maker in the US, Europe, and Japan, like GM, BMW, and Toyota, which total around $900 billion, and still have nearly $100 billion left over. NASA's budget for 2025 was $24.6 billion, meaning Musk could fund the space agency 41 times over. And if Musk were his own country, his territory as of now would be richer than 156 other nations. He sits at number 1 on Bloomberg's Billionaire Index, followed by former Google CEO Larry Page with $314 billion, 1/3 of Musk's net worth. But Musk is not the only one benefiting. SpaceX's IPO has created thousands of new millionaires inside the company, and the next wave of wealth creation may already be on its way as more